all the attention's been on getting to the Final Four. Now you're going. What do you expect? How do you expect your team to respond when you get to the semifinals?
I think they're going to respond like they've responded all year. I mean, I don't know anything different. I mean, they've just been unbelievably consistent. We'll have a great time tonight, and I'll get up and go to church tomorrow, and then rest up, heal up, and then I think practices will be as good as they've ever been, and they've been pretty phenomenal all year, and we'll go down there to try to win the thing.
We're not done. We'd sure like to go and make a great showing for ourselves in Phoenix. We got one more 14 tournament to try to go win. So we're not done yet. We're not going to celebrate too much. We're going to get focused for next Saturday.
There it is, Timmies. We begin the whip around in college hoops, talking about the Zags in Oregon punching their tickets to the Final Four. Uncharted territory for both schools because Mark Few and Dana Altman have coached in multiple Elite Eights, but never in that Final Four. Just in the coaching matchup, what do you expect when you go there for the very first time from these two?
Well, I mean, Mark Few's been around there a long time.
But never to a Final Four?
Well, I think the experience may be a little bit too big for Gonzaga because this was their end-all goal. I actually think that's a problem. It shouldn't be their end-all goal.
We wanted to get to the Final Four.
They got 2 more games to win. It's all about getting the monkey off his back and finally getting to the pinnacle, getting to the Final Four, because as a coach, that's what you're actually judged on. How many times have you been to the Final Four? Like, getting to the Final Four is a win.
Yes.
And I think he's looking at it like that. I think Gonzaga's looking at it like that, and that's a problem. You still got 2 more games. By the way, the bracket opened up so nicely for you. After you knocked off West Virginia, you played a double-digit seed in Xavier, and now you're looking at either Florida or South Carolina. I mean, this couldn't have went any better right now if you're the Zags. I think they earned a lot of swag in that game. That was their confidence game against West Virginia, and then they looked like a completely different squad in their win over Xavier than they looked in, let's just say, the game against Northwestern, where in the second half they were like, oh, no, we may lose.
There was no teetering today.
So for Gonzaga, I'm worried about that moment being too big. The flip side, Oregon, I'm not worried about it at all. There is an arrogance, there is a cockiness about the Ducks that, sure, no team in the tournament had played as well as Kansas. They embarrassed Purdue, beat them by 32 points.
Wow.
And Oregon's like, we don't care. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give Tyler Dorsey the ball, and everyone's going to get out of the way. And next play, we're going to give Dylan Brooks the ball and get out of the way. I'm not sure how much Dana Altman actually really does as far as coaching that team, besides recognizing who his best players are, getting the ball in their hands when it counts, and letting those guys go out there and make a play. There's not too many times I see Dana Altman like drawing up an amazing out-of-bounds play. No, but what I do see is Tyler Dorsey having the ball in his hands to go out there and make that key play down the stretch. I like the fact that they went for a 2-for-1 before the half. Like, that's NBA style stuff.
That's Dana Altman coaching, though.
And they run a lot of NBA sets. So Dana Altman gives his guys a ton of freedom. Now, they scare me. If you're an Oregon Ducks fan, I think you want to play Kentucky. Like, you're watching that North Carolina-Kentucky game, you're rooting for Kentucky. I don't think they match up well against Carolina.
But Mark Few, you believe, is going to have the advantage over Florida or South Carolina?
Oh, they're going to be heavy favorites. I mean, if you got Gonzaga in your office pool right now, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you would think you'd get to the finals.
I think Oregon's going to be at a massive disadvantage if they play North Carolina. And if they play Kentucky, that's a matchup they could easily win. If they play North Carolina, I think they're going to be in trouble.
All right, there they are. 2 coaches going to make their first foray into the Final Four.